right, thank you for joining. Today we'll go over Solana. This was a recommendation from the comment section of my last video. So yeah, I'll go over Solana. Very straightforward, like always. It's just been a very bullish, nice trending chart. Clearly to the upside, topped out at around just shy of $300 actually, which is very interesting. So obviously there was a lot of sell orders there. People taking profits before the 300 mark, right? Which obviously led to a pretty big sell-off, along with Bitcoin selling off too as well. Now this is the weekly time frame. So as we can see here, right, this looks kind of hard to read, but as you can see, or as I can see, is there was a clear support resistance flip that happened at this level, right? Resistance, a lot of buying pressure, support. Look how many times this area tested. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Impulsed higher, came back down. 6, failed auction to the downside, traded back above, retested that area once again, right? It is pretty much a zone, right? Can even pull it higher if you want. Retested the zone before now moving higher. So this is a very, very important support zone. If things do start to get very bearish, I would not be surprised if we come back to test this area before possibly moving back to the upside, right? Now, with that being said, this is on the weekly time frame. So this is a lot of time that's been spent here. It's going to take a very long time for price to come back down to $130. Right, so if you're in a trade from these levels, I would just sit back, relax, and play things level to level. Let's go ahead and go into the daily time frame. We had a previous range here, so let's go ahead and pull the fixed range volume profile, and you can see here, right? This is why I love this tool, because if you look at the previous range, let's just go ahead and put that there. Let's go to value area high. Look at exactly what happened. So we had this previous range. The value area high of this previous range is what was tested pretty much exactly, to the point where not only we tested it, we got a swing failure pattern of the high before closing a daily candle back inside. Things started to get a little bit bearish and price sold off to the downside. So yes, you can go ahead and mark this level down here, as the value area low, and it is showing some sort of respect, right? So you had price try to get acceptance, failed. Price came up again, tried to get acceptance, failed, and then finally really started to get acceptance and did a full value rotation to the upside, came back, look, tested that low exactly, which also pretty much lined up with this uptrend, right? So that would have been a nice trade. I did miss that, but now we just came back up, tested this massive sell side pressure right here, and we are slowly starting to get a reaction. So at the very moment, this seems to just be the best range to trade, right? So between 192 to around we could even say 250 mark, right? So 192 to 250 is where I think Solana will trade the best around. I wouldn't be looking to enter a long at any time soon, really. I would really want to see price come back down to at least $214, because as you can see here, that was an area where price did break out of before. Let's go to the 12-hour really quick. So a little demand zone here. You might get some pretty nice price action within this area, right? Who really knows? But this is also an interesting area to keep in mind. So if you wanted to do some day trading, in my opinion, that would be the best area to look for a long. I'm not saying to go long, but to look for a possible long to continue to the upside, because we are in an uptrend, right? So higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, broke out. This is the first big sell side pressure since these higher highs, higher lows, but the reality of the situation is it's still technically a higher high. If you're talking about this, yeah, it did break this low. Looks more like a liquidity grab. But who knows, you officially have formed a, not officially, but looks like a lower high is starting, right? So maybe you go ahead and draw this trend line. right? And then we just see how price reacts with this trend line. Maybe it does get that push to the downside, take some liquidity before essentially moving back up. So we'll see how that goes. This is an interesting area to try along depending on how price action is. If people use order flow, you can use the order flow too to see exactly if there's any longs opening, open interests, cumulative volume deltas, things along those lines at that level. But as a lot of great traders say, you want to long from the lows and short from the highs, right? And in my opinion, these are the lows. Got a decent reaction. So if price is to hold here, I would for sure be targeting $250, possibly $300. So for right now with Solana, there's not much else to really talk about. These are the main areas of interest in terms of taking a buy order, right? And looking to sell, yeah, you really, since we got a sell side pressure here, swing failure pattern, then yeah, I wouldn't really be looking to sell until price comes back up here, because that's going to be the actual high. So that's where I would be looking to sell. All right. So that's really it with Solana. Nothing too crazy. I'm not sure why I made this orange. Should have made this red, but yeah, nothing too crazy. These are the areas I'm looking to long. That's around $192 or $212 to $207 range if price holds up. Targeting 250, possibly 300, and areas I'm looking to enter a short would be 250, right? This would have been a nice area to enter a short because you had massive sell side pressure. On my last video, I talked about it. There's obviously going to be resting sell orders here still, and as you can see, price comes up, keeps testing those orders, filling those orders, and not enough buying pressure up here, so price just starts to come back down, and that's just where we are right now. So yeah, let's just see how this plays out. Solana is always very interesting. A lot of institutions are behind it, so we'll see how this plays out. I'll leave this here, and yeah, maybe in about a week's time I'll make another Solana video, and we'll see how this is looking, right, in terms of levels being tested. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining. Remember to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below of a project you'd like to see me chart. The reason I did Solana is because somebody on the previous video said they would like to see me chart Solana, and here it is. I am charting Solana. So yeah, there you go. Like and subscribe. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day, and follow me on X.